So today we've got Jeremy Craigen coming in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's
we've got Jeremy Craigen coming in twice.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Actually, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah. So we got the first part, which will be all the bits which aren't the bits in the second part.
Yep.
So the first part
is the first part, and then the second part's the second part. It's going to be really good.
The first part is stuff like Marmite, Harvey Nichols, Optrex. It's basically everything.
I mean, Jeremy's a legend, right?
Yeah.
He's a ledge.
Oh,
so
he really is. He's right up
It was
there.
Basically, there's way too much work to get through in one episode, so we decided to
and especially in our new, slightly slimmed down format. Not slimmed down, better. Yeah. Streamlined. So we can do first part.
Commutable. That's what we call it.
Thank you. And then second part will be VW. But very much looking forward to both. VW, we must mention the Top Gear thing, which we'll do in the intro.
Yes.
But you watched that this morning.
The Scirocco pitch. It's very good.
We should put it on the website. So yeah, I think he's going to be here in a minute. We should go and get him.
We should go and put the kettle on.
Jeremy Craigen, legendary creative director, executive creative director, chief creative officer, bonvivier, and lover of life. Welcome to Behind the Billboard.
You're welcome.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you. So this is the first of a Craigen double bill, which you are aware, but we need to tell our listeners. So because of the quality and quantity of work we're having to break it into two parts. So today, part one is sort of Marmite, Harvey Nichols, a bit of Optrex, Labour Party, and then the second part will be VW. Yeah, all very exciting. So we're going to do a few very quick Craigen facts. Craigen facts. So this is where we set up how amazing you are. Yeah. So during
this bit's a bit like This Is Your Life, isn't it? This is the red book moment.
I'm dead tomorrow.
This is the obituary bit.
During your time at DDB, Jeremy, you helped the agency become the gun report agency of the decade. When I first read that, I thought of the year. I thought, that's quite good, of the year. Decade. So 2001 to 2010. That is like some fucking achievement. Jeremy has won gold at every award show in the world, and this hall includes 73 Cannes Lions, including 2 Grand Prix. I'm going to say 191 D&AD pencils, because
they are pencils now, aren't they? Even though you were just in the book.
Yeah.
in the old days.
Yeah, so it would be broken down. So, I mean, 191 pencils, not to be sniffed at. Very good. And last but not least, I mean, there's a massive list of things we could say about you, because honestly, it's so incredible what people have said about you over the years. But one of the things that everyone said to mention is you got VW onto Top Gear for free with no funding whatsoever. And Jeremy challenged Jeremy Clarkson to write an ad for VW live on air, an episode which has watched conservatively around 90 million views, because it's still growing, because it's still on Dave.
Yeah.
Repeat. So just got to quickly say, because VW will be the second part.
Sure.
But we both watched.
Yeah, we both watched the clip,
clip.
And we've decided that when you come back for the second part, you've got to go and change your shirt so that it looks like we've done it in the second day.
It's fucking hilarious, isn't it? And you look quite strict, innit?
Well, I am.
Are you?
Well, I was.
But how did you keep a straight face?
Honestly, I was saying to Hugh when I came in that the worst thing about people you see in like The Apprentice or from advertising is that they just are such dicks, and I just thought I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jeremy Clarkson was drawing penises on.
Oh, fuck's sake!
So everything was like so hard.
Right, not to.
And I was just like, no, just don't do it. And it was brilliant. And as you said, like, I mean, I think it's more than 90 million, but
it's fucking amazing. I mean, I think the thing is, because they want you to be, if you're a TV, you want some good content, you want them to be dicks, right? But obviously, your well-seasoned pro just go like, no, that's not right. And then your wingman was very sweet. What was his name?
Jonathan Hill.
So he was really good, kind of, getting you involved in it. And at one point, you just either rolled your eyes or looked down. I thought, fucking hell, that's pretty.
That's what's quite good about those Apprentice episodes, where you don't need to say anything. You just go, oh, yeah, that face, and it's a close up of that moment when you just.
I know. I mean, it was a brilliant experience, and it was funny because James May and Jeremy Clarkson went out to go and have a cigarette outside, and it literally stopped the traffic in Bishopsbridge Road.
Brilliant.
They were all like, Jezza, and it was amazing, and it. It was really good, and it was good for the client. And
amazing! But God, we should be doing this on the VW episode, but just very quickly.
You could fast forward it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so how are you, and what are you up to at the moment?
I've done a bit of freelance. I've got to that kind of point in my life where I was going, should I retire? Mm-hmm. I've worked 3 years on this AI project for basically fashion and retail for mannequins that you can basically change the clothes.
Oh wow, that sounds cool.
It's really cool, but we've moved it now to America because this country is just so bad in investing in tech. Right. Although even that stupid government that we've got now that saying, "Oh, we're going to do that." So
that's marketing 101, isn't it? We're all gonna be at the forefront of the tech revolution.
Yeah, And I've been doing this for like 3 years, and you kind of go, "Oh, somebody else is going to come up with this idea because we've shown it to so many people." Right. But so that's been it. And then I did some stuff on VW recently, but I've kind of lost like my love of advertising.
Right.
But it's like I mean, the work's just not great. No. I mean, I took a picture, by the way, on the way to,
Please, we'll have that.
The station.
Which will be that.
But people don't talk about advertising anymore like they used to.
No.
In even people who aren't.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because the work's not good.
Okay.
I just don't.
Across all medium, you think the work is poor?
The thing, I'm a bit of both. I was watching TV last night, sort of half watching, and the commercial break came. I thought, I'm just going to kind of look at this a little bit more. And 4 TV ads in a row, within the first 2 seconds, had the logo and the thing. I'll be watching a Netflix something with the girls, and it'll be a show designed. It tells you everything you need to know immediately. Yeah. So there's no intrigue. Yeah. And you're going, and then there was an ad came on. I think it was VCP's Walrus driving the boat, which is really funny and silly, and it didn't explain it at the beginning, and it was so rewarding. Just as a bit of film, you're going, everyone else told me, and it was like, God, it's really. You feel like it should be an industry that's evolving and maturing, and actually, I think outdoors it is, but I think on TV a lot of stuff is just.
I think part of the problem is there's so much choice. Right?
True. Yeah.
It's not like when we were growing up with 4 or 5 channels. That the TV adverts that you're making now aren't just for TV; they're for pre-roll and they're for video on demand. And then there's 155 channels on.
And people are just adapting stuff. They're just taking it across, aren't they?
But you can't take storytelling out of the equation, and that's relevant of whatever channel you're on. And I just find that I just don't like the stuff I'm seeing. Yeah. I mean, and I had lunch last year with John Hegarty, and I was just saying, like, the art of persuasion has gone. It's like we are in the business of selling. Yeah. And it's just like
you've been smashed over the head with the message, and that's it.
And then you just like throw something out there and think, oh, it's going to stick. And
Hegarty said that thing about being stalked as well, isn't it? Feel like you're being stalked by brands.
I am feeling that right now.
So what was the billboard at the end of your street? Did you see? Can you remember? Because we'll put it in. Did you take a photo of it?
I did.
Very good. Done your homework.
But I can't even remember it. It's that shit.
Well, that's good. We can reveal it later on.
I know. I wanted to take one.
Oh, but it's on your phone.
At the station.
Right, yeah.
Because I've become a bit of an addict on paddle tennis. And it was for this paddle. I mean, it's a rubbish ad.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, well, that's like kind of me.
Well, that's good. It's paddle tennis. We'll take that.
Do you do that?
What is... No,
but
have you played it?
It's the most trending sport in the country at the moment.
Welcome to a paddle tennis podcast. Fuck the advertising.
Yeah.
Tell us, what is paddle tennis?
So paddle is like a cross between tennis and squash.
Right.
But in a smaller court. So when you get to my age, you can actually play it.
Okay. Rather than running around.
It's massive in Spain. So I've got some very good friends who live in Mallorca. And so I go out there like 4 times a year and they are just paddle addicts.
Right.
And you've got to play it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good fun.
Do you do it?
Yeah.
Great.
In fact, there's a new paddle centre just opening. I mean, they're opening everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not like that real tennis where it all bounces off the walls.
Yeah.
But
Smaller court, kind of
'cause it's hard work,
half-size tennis court.
Yeah. All right.
But it's
Full-size
very
net.
social.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's doubles. I mean, you can't.
Okay, all
But you can
right.
play it off the wall, and it's a bigger racket, so you've got a
Well,
kind
look,
of
if we got
foamy racket.
one more in here, if we got Rachel in here, we
Yeah.
could have a little game.
Yeah, doubles.
Just like really small. Right, first poster.
Sorry, yes.
First poster. So, first billboard is for sea fish, and it says the tastiest fish aren't always the good-looking ones. So, I actually remember this. It was one of the first ones I saw. It's got a fish with a bag on its head. It's fucking hilarious. Where were you when you did this? Was this?
This was like early days at BMP DDB.
And you were who were you working with? Jeremy. is it?
Jeremy Carr, yeah. And it was the first actual outdoor award we won.
Wow.
First poster, and it won an award straight up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, no, I'd done a few before, but
This is the one we're going to officially say, right?
yeah.
No, it's a belt. How did it? Was it obviously the fish had? Well, it wasn't a fish. It was a model, I presume. Model made.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And that was that. Who was the photographer? Mike. Was it Mike Parsons?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We use Mike Parsons quite a lot.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's a great. It's a really funny. It's a really funny.
The tastiest fish aren't always the good-looking ones.
I mean, they were a great client. I mean, you don't get clients like that anymore. Like the Sea Fish Authority. It's like, what?
I know that's a bit strange, but we do. So we do go. Do we have Optrex still? Because this is so Optrex. This was one of the first big campaigns we were going to talk to you about, which we did with Jeremy. And I was sort of intrigued about because I remember this how brilliant it is. It's just images of eyes, but brought to life by the things that are fucking with the eyes, like onions or headlamps. I mean, that's I have migraines sometimes, so light is really bad for my eyes. And then you got swimming. How did you? I mean, was it literally? I know it sounds so simple, but did you just go from eyes to this, or was it just a quick? Did you get there, or was it take a bit more?
It's a funny story, this.
Yes.
We came up with it literally as we were being briefed. And we went and presented it to Tony Cox, our then creative director, as the other team were being briefed.
Oh, whoa, that's so good. Fuck you. Right, we've done it.
No,
Pens down.
Yeah, pens down. And yeah, it's like one of those things that, when you... So often, some of the best ideas I've come up with, not necessarily outdoors, but you get it.
So was that, because I'm not going to be school teacher about it, was that allowed? Could you, you just literally went over and go, cracked it, done.
Yeah.
And then would Tony say, okay, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then how did you execute? Because because there's a lot of craft gone into the way it looks.
Yeah. I mean, that's Jeremy, the other Jeremy.
Yeah.
Was very, very good art director.
Were they models? Were they, because of the water, was that actually water? Can you remember how
I can't bloody remember.
That's all right, mate. It's all right.
I remember.
But
I mean, my favourite was the onions.
Yes.
Because I think that's the thing that, is the most relevant to sore eyes.
It's also I mean, I know we're on this is so ridiculously minimal, but you kind of go, well, you don't need anything more than Optrex because I know what that does.
Yeah.
So there's actually 2 elements.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you go 3's a magic number, headline, visual, logo, but it's a sort of gift, isn't it? It's beautiful.
No, I'm glad you brought it up because, you know, I love the simplicity of it. And even though I'm a writer, I've been much more kind of like a visual kind of like writer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even my TV has been like that it's like, I remember kind of somebody's saying, actually, most of my best TV commercials have been like basically a moving press ad with a line at the end of it.
Right.
So, yeah, it's all about simplicity.
I reckon these are also tube cards as well.
Yeah. No.
So they were 48 sheet posters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to go to now Le Shuttle.
Le Shuttle. It's still called Le Shuttle. I know you thought it wasn't.
It's not.
It is still. It is.
Seriously?
Yeah, I booked it the other day. We're going to France in the summer.
It just
and it's
sounds
called Le
like
Shuttle.
something from the 70s.
No, it's still called Le Shuttle.
Okay. So,
The Channel Tunnel, connecting the UK and France. And this was a special build.
This was the wobbly poster that they used to have a special build of. So in the old days, do you remember Araldite?
Yeah.
Was there. It was like the special place on Cromwell Road.
Yeah.
And what was funny about this is that I was in a cab once, and I love cab stories because I always wanted to do a kind of a reel of cab stories for BMP, saying, right, we are the cab drivers. Yeah. You know, we're not about Ponzi advertising people and stuff like that. Anyway, so a cab driver went, oh, I fucking love that poster. Sorry, I don't want to swear on this. And I was like, I did that as we were driving past it. He was like...
And he probably drives past it 20 times a day.
No way. And it's just like... But it was just a really simple...
So for our listeners who can't see what we're seeing, so it's a poster site which...
96 sheet
96 poster, which actually wobbles.
It moves like waves, yeah.
I'm looking at both of you now because you know more about physicality of posters, Dan and Jeremy. You've come up with this. How the fuck did that happen? How do you do that? How do you make a poster wobble? So it's to represent the wobbling of a boat versus being on the smooth train. Did they unscrew a few bolts?
It's a special build site, so it's custom built for that site. So rather than it being what you would normally find with a 96 sheet site, as someone pasting up the paper there, it's the whole thing is removed and built a frame, and you've got a mechanical.
But was it a smooth?
No, it was good. It was like rocking. I mean, I don't know. The poster company put it all together, but they did a great job.
Most of the poster companies have got their production team to do the special stuff. So Clear Channel have got their create team, for example. So if you had a challenge for, I want to build a rocking billboard, they would go and find the solution. Similarly, you know, the Ocean team have got their labs team. If you wanted to go and do something slightly out of the ordinary on one of their sites, they could help you do it.
It's just so beautifully simple, and it doesn't over egg the pudding. It's just
and that was in the 90s before.
Yeah.
Any kind of like technology was around.
And it doesn't need anything more than that, though, does it? It's mechanical. It's not digital. It's mechanical, which is nice.
Did that win awards? It must have.
Yeah, it won a silver at Cannes.
Yeah, it's
and
really
a few other things, but
okay. Oh, there's our credits. I've put a few little credit things in just in case. So obviously Jeremy Carr, Craigen, typography, Dave Wakefield. Giving him a shout. So we're going to now go to Party Political. And we've got a poster here called Vatman.
Yeah.
With, what's his name?
Lamont.
Yeah, Chancellor of the Exchequer, I think, at the time. And it says Vatman at the bottom, vote Conservative and you're voting for 22% tax, VAT, Labour. So was this a common brief at BNP? You get the kind of Labour brief.
It was a really interesting brief in the way that it was just about getting onto the front page of the Daily Telegraph or Guardian or whatever. It was always a one-off, but it was just I don't know if you know the cartoonist Matt from the Telegraph. I mean, he did a cartoon about that. It was bloody lost, but it was really. I mean, it would be an unveiling.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, it was quite funny working on this because I was just doing it for me. And I would then vote Conservative. Thatcherite kind of way. But it was just...
Ultimate professional. Yeah, just...
But I did love working on the Labour Party because it was just about, it's being there. I mean, there were a couple of other things there, but it was,
And did you go down and have your sort of moment in front of it? Did you go when it was being unveiled?
Yes, totally.
Yeah. You would be so shaking.
Was it
hands.
literally a curtain opening moment to reveal their poster?
It would be again a little bit like the one on Cromwell Road. It was by Vauxhall.
Yeah.
By
HQ.
Everybody, like all the journos were there, and you just. And everybody, it was great to see reactions of going, "Oh, that's great," and then it would be gone in a day.
Really, so funny, isn't it? Like,
so they would...
could we please get the press down to the opening of our new billboard?
Fucking.
But
how mad is that?
But then what? Would they literally cover it over with another poster or something?
Yeah, the next day.
It's great. I like that.
It's almost led by donkeys, isn't it? That's the kind of we'll just paper over someone else's poster and get the shot, and then see you later.
We could just do it on Photoshop now.
But you don't see any political advertising anymore.
No,
you don't. That's
not in this country.
Because it used to be really where you could make.
You joked about conservative stuff that came out of Sarchi's was unbelievably good.
The US elections that have just been, they spent millions and millions and millions on outdoor across the US. Both sides, and that's where 50% of their funding goes towards their advertising to mass media and to try and get people to go out and vote for them.
It's a really. I remember, I've never done one, never got one through, but I've always tried to. But it's because you're actually trying to influence. Sorry, you're trying to influence a nation, not to it's about who's going to lead the nation, not like a yogurt. Sorry, having a go at yogurts again.
You always have a go at yogurts.
Just yogurt. So we're going to go on.
It's okay, I'm not a yogurt person.
We're going to talk about Budweiser briefly here. This is called Labels. So Neil Dawson actually messaged me and said to ask you explain it again, because he said he never understood it.
Well, he's stupid, isn't he?
And there we are, Neil. There's your response. So it's a series of labels, and under each label, it says Statue of Liberty unveiled, New York subway open. So it's a series of prominent moments, and it's Budweiser was always there toasting it, right?
So Budweiser
pretty
is
obvious.
a really shit drink, I think. But it was about trying to get their heritage.
Yeah.
And, so the prohibition, obviously, the missing label.
Very funny.
It was just, I mean, you can see that a writer art directed that.
But it's saying
but
they were there.
It's the simplicity.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And it was funny because I went to a Budweiser museum once in Orlando, and it was there.
No. Oh, wow. Brilliant.
And also, I remember hearing, obviously I wasn't there, that there was a Budweiser conference where everybody applauded it. So you kind of go, okay,
that's great.
And
got a round of applause for a poster. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I did the Budweiser brewery tour in St. Louis. and it's on the wall. They have a whole section on their advertising. It's on the wall.
Really?
You know,
it's
and we
on
were
the wall.
thinking about not putting this in.
Yeah. It's-
Was you?
Yeah, Neil Dawson questioning it. Seriously, it's a belter.
But I think for those brands, they obviously they're stemmed from a family brewing company, right? I think they take a lot of pride in the stuff that they get made.
Yes.
And so when things do elevate, and also you're right, this is the pride of heritage for them.
Yeah.
They go, actually, it's a piece of artwork for them because they say, look how our bottles evolved, look how our labels evolved, but we were there when this happened. We
it's
were
really
there
good.
for you when this happened.
And which client isn't going to buy a poster with 11
yeah.
Logos.
on? I bet actually, when did you get to Prohibition? Was that a really nice moment? Did you go, oh, that'd be good? No logo. Because you must have, did you start with a kind of, oh, look, it's been there 3 years. Oh,
God, it's a
Prohibition.
long time ago. But no, I think
it's a lovely.
the whole thing was the gag of Prohibition. Otherwise, it's just a really boring.
Yeah. No, but did you start with, like, oh, I'll just make it a legacy piece? And then,
Well, that was the brief.
Right.
About celebrating Budweiser's heritage.
yeah.
But
yeah.
you go, okay, I mean, if you filled in the Prohibition
No,
part,
that's what I
it's
mean.
just
It's great.
boring.
Yeah. No, that's the sort of genius moment,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh,
That's fucking
thank
great.
you.
Yeah. So we're going to go on to a campaign loved by some, hated by some, Marmite, which has been going for so long. So kudos again to Richard and Andy. I think they were the ones who
They started it, yeah.
they started it in 1996. So I was thinking last night,
I mean, that's the genius of that story, is that one liked it, the other one hated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
you're joking.
No,
Please
seriously.
tell me that.
That
What?
is
I don't know that.
They one of them liked Marmite, the other one didn't.
You see, because we've not had either of them on. Because Richard's obviously never. Just,
Is that
don't know
honestly
where
how
he
the
is.
story came, how the line came about as well?
Yeah.
And Andy might come on. We've asked him. Bloody hell! Were you there when it happened?
I was there for yeah. Yeah.
a while.
But funnily enough, like the first couple of ads weren't
No.
actually that good.
No, that's the weird thing. And now it's just gone into.
It's one of those things. It's one of those that's just gone into our common language, though, isn't it? It's It's like the Specsavers line.
Specsavers and Marmite, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember I sent something to the client that I'm a bit of a wino. As you probably know. But Decanter magazine
Yeah.
had a thing about you either love it or hate it, like Marmite.
Fucking hell.
And you go, bloody hell, it's gone to that kind of like
Wow.
place. So
It's amazing. I really, really, really hope they don't ever.
they
change
won't.
it.
If they do, they're
No, you can't.
the
Can
most.
you?
I mean, it's how brilliant
Yeah.
to talk about your own brand that's saying some people hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so brave.
And it's still being reincarnated over and over again
Yeah,
now. There's
yeah.
still new ways. So one we're looking at here is really one of our favourites. It's the squeezy bottle or jar, sorry.
Yeah.
And it's created, it's literally drawn onto the billboard, the thing we either love or hate. So can you recall when it was showed to you, and did you immediately go, fucking hell, that's brilliant? Or did you build it? How did it come to you in some respect?
These were two French guys that I hired, Thierry and Damien.
Right.
And I briefed them and said, give me a campaign that you can only do with squeezy rather than normal
Okay.
Marmite.
That's interesting.
And they came back with this because there were drawings that you couldn't do with normal Marmite. And I mean, I loved those two. I mean, they were I kind of used to try and hire people that would just like shake things up a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
And they did, but they were loved. I mean, you know, we would have Bastille parties.
Really?
Stuff, yeah.
That's hilarious because they sort of that they feature I'm not sure whether we love or hate
Socks and sandals.
socks and sandals. You know,
You love sandals, don't
I
you?
like a sandal, but with an
I'm
open
Not
toe.
with socks.
Not with socks, though, no.
But that's a bit of a look now. So anyway,
Uh,
can't. As is a mullet. Sorry.
Yeah, mullets are back.
So we got mullet sandals. Just
hairy
a
person.
really hairy
that was
person.
that was aimed at me.
Is that aimed at you? Do you think you want to take your top off and just? And then we've got the Chelsea tractor. I mean, pretty.
they had Mourinho.
Yeah, I
was
remember
there.
Mourinho, yeah.
There was France, which
Yeah.
was funny
Yeah,
because they
they're
were
French.
French.
That's bloody funny. It's a brilliant campaign anyway. Then to reinvent it over and over, but then to do this, there's so much to love about this because, like you say, it's intrinsically linked to what they've done.
And
I like the scissors, by the way.
and the
yeah.
and the craft is so good. I mean, I think Damien was one of the best art directors
how
I've
did
ever worked with.
So they came in with it virtually fully formed, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but how was it produced then? Was it real Marmite, or does it a model? How did that actually come to be? Can you remember?
No.
No. Okay, moving
Can
on.
you see
But-
the hidden
I do-
scissors in the? Oh no, on the haircut one there.
Oh,
I
the
just think
U?
the way that this all leads
You either
down
love it or hate it.
to
See the hidden scissors for the mullet? Very good.
sorry.
No, it's
It's a brilliant campaign, and it is one that stood the test of time.
yeah.
It's really lovely. So we're moving on. So there were loads of Marmite campaigns we could have featured, but we haven't got loads of time. So we wanted to feature different variations. So this one,
Just before you move on, actually,
Yeah, go on.
I remember working on a Marmite thing with the Christmas lights. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
It was, and people got the opportunity to take their love it or hate it face on. There was a bus stop screen
Right.
with a camera, and they could take their photo on the bus stop screen with it, either love it or hate it face, and then it went up onto the Christmas lights across Oxford Street.
right?
And there was a special light over by John Lewis on Oxford Street. And it just went ballistic. People were doing it because they then got pictures back on Facebook. They could share it across, and Tribal were doing all of the social side. I think. It's a fantastic campaign for Marmite. It's just like, and obviously so simple. It's just people taking pictures of their faces and
It's fucking
either
great, isn't it?
sticking their tongue out or smiling.
Yeah, very funny. Very good.
very
The one we're looking at now is actually for a cereal bar, a Marmite cereal bar, and there's a sort of, it's a piss take basically. The image on the left is for Marmite shower gel, and it's so well put together. It's got the Unilever logo. It's got a very well built young man here in the shower, and on the right hand side it says, "That may be too far, but how about this?" So I'd never seen this before, and then I spotted it, and it was in D&AD. What's the story? Because there's several of them. There's one with a perfume, massive jar of Marmite, and this model's holding it. Then there's a kid lying on some Marmite fabric softener. I mean, it's fucking well done.
Were they sequential ads in a?
But
Was
they
it a poster that was updated over time or something?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because when you mentioned it the other day, I was like, oh God, I don't remember it but you look at it now and you just go, it's so left field.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That you go, it's like, I mean, we've all seen campaigns that are like, if so-and-so invented this, it would be like that.
Yeah.
But this one's a lot more kind of like subtle and cleverer than that. So
Yeah, and also I sort of did half believe it, going, all right, fucking hell, maybe. That thing.
You wouldn't put it past Marmite to come up with a shower gel, though, would you? That's the thing.
oh, I mean, I fucking hate it, by the way.
You're a hater.
Yeah.
See,
I love Marmite.
I like Twiglets.
Twiglets
Oh.
Christmas. Yeah, I like
Which
Twiglet Christmas.
are,
Marmite flavoured.
yeah.
But then my missus thinks they've changed the flavour on the Twiglets. She thinks they've
Just because
changed.
they're less salty, I think.
Yeah. So
They've taken a load of salt out of
it's
stuff.
like fucking baked beans. It's like a reduced salt. No, why would I? It's like a beer having reduced amount of beer. It's like, no, I want a beer to get pissed. I haven't had a beer for a long time. Sorry, I'm on the wagon.
Get off it.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm doing a swim at the end of March for charity. So
Well, that's March.
no, that's what I'm trying to be good till then.
Oh,
He does it every year as well.
Yeah,
First 3 months of
met
the
me at
year.
the wrong time. We'll meet again later in the year. And
We'll
can-
do a summer party.
After March.
Yeah. Which when the sun comes out. Right. We're gonna go and be a bit more serious now. Look at FT. So we chatted about this the other day, didn't we? And that was the amazing thing about DDB. It's just so many brilliant clients, so many different tones of voice. And one of them was the FT. And there was this campaign done by Rob Messeter and Mike Crow. I think it's correct. And it was during the global downturn, and they're posters which have nothing on them. They've been sort of, ripped free of any advertising. And just in the corner, there's a one sheet that says global downturn, what's the first mistake businesses make? And it's obviously referring to advertising. So can you tell us a bit about this? Did it come in like this on your desk, or was it from a conversation? How did it come about?
It was totally them.
Really?
Yeah,
It literally happened
totally
like that?
them.
Such a clever idea.
And it's the simplicity. I mean, I know we're going to talk about like my other favourite campaign, which is the John Smiths, which is slightly
Yes,
similar.
I know what you're saying.
But I mean, it's just got proper insight.
Yeah. It uses the medium, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Did they, because who were you, how did they pull it off though, each one? Because they're really well art directed, posters which aren't posters, if you know what I mean. Did they do that themselves? Did they create this sort of stuff? Was it with your design department? Can you remember? Or, because it looks like, it's so convincing, isn't it? It looks like they just bought that bit there.
I mean, those guys are such good craftsmen, and we, I don't know. The thing about when I was like running the department was like, if you trust people, you just let them get on with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not an art director. And we had Grant Parker, who was brilliant head of art, or Justin Tyndall as well.
Yeah.
So they would absolutely, be over it. So
It must be a nice feeling in a way, going, right, I know I've approved the idea and we can just get the craftsman helping with it.
yeah.
Yeah. Because that's something people have said about you as well, though, which I was going to say in the VW episode, but I can say it now, which is you have that sort of laser-like ability to pick a great idea from a pile of nearly great ideas. I mean, do you think that's one of your sort of main skills in a way, is to get the right one? Because you must have been shown so many ideas over the last 20 or 30 years. It's hard to pick the right one. Imagine if you hadn't, you probably wouldn't be sitting here.
No, but I've also picked the wrong ones.
No, don't we talk. Okay, that's very honest of you to say, but than you have picked the right ones, Jeremy.
But I had dinner with the Volkswagen
Oh yes, you were saying.
MD on Friday night, and we were talking about stuff in the past, and he was asking what my favourite ads were and this and that. But and then we talked about a couple that we just went, ooh,
Oh, those were total dogs. Yeah.
why? How did that happen? Because
That's really interesting.
Because you see it, like every time I see like advertising on, you go, how many meetings were there about this piece of fucking shit?
Yeah,
And
how much effort have people put in?
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them.
And nobody starts to make rubbish.
No.
And, sometimes you get it wrong. I mean, I think my wrong was never rubbish, but it was not right.
No, but it's a bit weird. When they interview footballers, they always go to the one that got away.
Yeah.
Like,
Isn't
it's
that
really
the perfectionist
strange.
in the craftsman or the?
It's a human nature thing I find as well, though, because people say, "How's your holiday? How's your daughter's?" And I immediately say, "Oh, one of the girls has got a bad skin rash, or on the third day we had this fucking terrible meal." You're going, "Why are you taking on the shit bit?" That thing you can't quite stop yourself because. As a hit rate, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
But if you surround yourself, I think what you're saying is that if you surround yourself with the right people, with the head of art or the right production people, the right creative teams to help push the idea as far as it can go, your job to say, this is the best idea you've got and I think it's right for the client.
Yeah.
You know that the production team are going to get it away and it's going to look great. And I think that's
No,
testament
and
to the talent you have around you, right?
Yeah, and I loved my department. I mean, I really genuinely loved them all, and we bloody partied hard, but we worked bloody hard too. Yeah. And it was getting that balance, and that we would always do a lunch in Cannes at the Bellerive Hotel where it just got bigger and bigger, and it was like a £20,000 lunch.
That was just your wine.
Can't do that now. But
2,000.
No, exactly. And I had a love-hate relationship with my financial director, and she was brilliant, but she would just turn a blind eye to that lunch at the Bellerive. And
I think Neil mentioned that to me as well.
Did he?
Said about how you managed to sort of control the financial controller a little bit.
Well, she used to say I could only spend a couple of £50 on a bottle of wine, so I ended up buying lots of half bottles at £50.
Hey, see? It's making it work.
So,
There's a creative way around every problem.
and then I did take her out after she left DDB and I'd left it. We went out for lunch and I did
a £50 bottle of wine.
Yes.
That's blood. Do you know what? I'm going to say it tomorrow. I'm going to have that when I start drinking again and say to the missus, it's £50. Very funny. We're going to move on to Harvey Nichols now.
Yeah.
And again, there's so much here. It's been quite hard and painful to sort of distill it down to stuff. And we had a little chat this morning and we've got it down to 3. So apologies to any teams who hopefully their work was going to be discussed. But we're going to start with Wallace and Gromit. So I've got to be really honest here. So I was at the time, had no idea what was going on here because I didn't know. I was going, why is it Wallace and Gromit? Why is it won every award going? And then someone said it's from Bristol.
Yeah.
And I still was going, and? So apologies to everyone for my thickness. But tell us about the campaign because you were saying you were quite involved.
Well, it's funny, actually, because like literally last week, the ex-client of Harvey Nichols put it on LinkedIn because Aardman were winning at BAFTA.
Right. Yes, that's right. And Oscar nominated as well.
Yeah. And she said, oh, this reminds me of this campaign. And I said, and this takes me back, is going, Grant, literally, a bit like I was with Optrex, he came in 5 minutes after being briefed on this, said, really? I'm showing this to you because I know everybody else will come up with this campaign.
And sorry, just wanted to get in early.
Yeah.
So I just got to quickly say to the listeners, Harvey Nichols now open in Bristol, which was the line, hence, because Wallace and Gromit from Bristol. So,
yes. Yeah. Yes.
So he did an Optrex on you.
I mean, I wasn't in competition with him.
Yeah.
I was no. But it was
really
literally, it's like one of those lovely creative director things you go, yes.
So if you work at DDB, because I actually just freelanced there briefly, but I never worked there full time, but was it such a competitive? I'm fascinated by this because when I was at BBH, Levi's and Lynx and Audi to a certain degree, you would have to be that quick.
Oh,
so was it? You literally had to go in.
The Harvey Nichols brief would be a on the wall.
I was going to say it's an open one, right?
And 9 times out of 10, or 99 times out of 100, the designated team would not make it.
Yeah,
because other people would just nick it.
Death. Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't look after a lot of Harvey Nichols' work. It was Adam and Justin, and but this I did because I think they'd left. But it was that beautiful, and the thing was that I loved about that agency, and I kind of inherited it. I didn't create it. Was this kind of friendly competition,
right?
So that when somebody cracked it, they would go, "Oh, well done!"
It was celebrated,
as
by
opposed
others,
to, "Oh, bloody hell, my work was better than that." And
okay, that's good.
So
there's a much better cultural reason for competition, and
totally, and and that's what created what.
So Wallace and
happened.
Gromit were dressed in Harvey Nichols clothing. How did you start the process of, in the briefing, did someone say, "Oh, you could"? No, because that's the idea. I'm trying to think. How did you go? Okay, it's Wallace and Gromit. Was then a quick phone call to them? Were they up for it? Were they difficult? Was Wallace okay on the set?
He was a bit stiff.
Oh,
No, Aardman were well up for it.
yeah, because it's absolutely brilliantly put together, isn't it?
And like wearing Paul Smith, and it's.
It's shot by Giles Revell, who's a very good photographer. Yeah, and it's just absolutely flawless. I mean, it won so many awards.
Grant, it won gold at Cannes and other stuff. I mean, I didn't do. Maybe it didn't win at Cannes because
do you know what? I thought it won at D&AD a lot, and not at Cannes.
Yeah, because it's like I don't understand it.
It's like me.
Cultural relevance is the big thing. That's what we were talking about on a previous episode.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And that's got me on every single jury.
Weren't you going to say a story? Sorry, Marmite, Cannes.
Yeah.
What was the story? Did you say you had a story on that?
No, there was a...
No.
It was...
the squeezy thing.
The squeezy thing. It was there was this Swiss judge that had never won a lion in his life who was on the jury. And David Droger was our jury chairman, and he was very fair, and I couldn't say anything because it was my work, but this guy was just like,
I don't get it.
What's the problem with France?
Are you like, where do I start?
Don't start. But it was like one of those things that you just go, I can't, and Droger was just like that, and it ended up getting a silver, but it was like one vote away from a gold.
Fuck's sake.
And you just go... So my thing when I've been like chairing juries, I've been like, do not be afraid to change your mind.
Yeah.
Because of culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you need to hear somebody saying why this works in a country and it might not work in yours.
I was on the outdoor jury, and we had John Petroulis was the jury president. He was really good because as soon as there was a bit of work that people kind of didn't, he was looking around the room and kind of asking the local representative, whether it was UK or whether it was someone from Chile or from Spain, to give us the cultural background to this idea. And Marmite's a classic one, right? It's a British brand. On last week's episode we talked about Tesco. That'll be exactly the same. It's a British supermarket. People won't necessarily have the cultural relevance as to why that work is good.
You need someone to
and it's
help
the same for Marmite. It's the same for this and on Harvey Nicks and for Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. It is. You need that in a room, otherwise you're kind of.
And I think your job has to be that when you're on the jury, your job is not just to elevate the best workers, but you may have to explain the cultural relevance of something that's happened in your market to the 12 other people in the room.
Yeah. It's also. I think it also.
I had to do that for Led by Donkeys, by the way. So that Led by Donkeys was in people were like, it's just a picture of tweets. It's not. This is not good work. I said, actually, there's a more divisive meaning
what
for it.
Happened? It didn't
get anything. No,
fucking
people
weird,
didn't understand it.
Right. Anyway, pause that. So we've got two more Harvey Nicks of the many we looked at. So again, there's like two cats having a fight. I remember seeing this, thinking, oh, they've gone and done it again. They've. Every year you'd think what Harvey Nicks do. What the fuck? Like, how did this come about? I can't remember anything about it, but there's small figurines fighting, and then they're art directed like the sort of craze, and I don't know. It's fucking bonkers. Anybody know? Jeremy?
It's funny because I remember I was doing Neil French, the legendary Neil French, was doing this World Press Awards. In Singapore, which I was also judging, and he came up to me, and I mean, there was like, Marcellus Serpa was on this jury. I mean, it was like, Mark Tutzel. It was
right.
It was like insanely talented, and he goes, "I don't get it."
right. Yeah.
So I remember telling the creative team, I said, "Look, when you enter it next time, call it Catfight." Right. Catfight 1, Catfight 2, Catfight 3.
Right. Okay.
And then it won a gold at Cat.
Okay.
Just by
changing the name of the entry.
Of it. Yeah. Because they were like, I just...
Fucking hell, brilliant. It's brilliantly put together. I like this one particularly.
Yeah.
And because it's also so silly, but it's lovely because it's sort of fashiony.
Yes.
It?
Well, that's it.
It's sort of cool, right?
I think that's the genius in so much of the Harvey Nichols work.
Who did Catfight? Can you remember?
This was David Mackesy,
right,
and Jonathan John.
Is it all is it retouched or is it models?
Oh God, don't ask me questions like that.
I really want it to be models. I really want them to be a taxidermist on set.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Right, come on, we've got to keep going. One more. We've got mannequins, funny enough, which are sort of look like they've been in a fight or attacked, but they're wearing the Harvey Nicks clothing. Tell us a bit about this. This is a really beautifully art-directed campaign as well.
So this is Rob and Mike again.
Is it? Right. Brilliant.
I mean, there was a theme, obviously, with the sale campaign of fighting.
It would always make the news, wouldn't it? The Harvey Nicks sale. Queue round the block and...
Was the client tired of seeing fighting ideas? Or were we going, that's the only thing we've got? Or
well, they obviously got tired about it because they moved agents. but I mean, you look at that work and it's still got fashion at its heart.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Even that it's still about fighting and stuff. So.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, it was one of those. Again, we'll talk about it being on to VW and stuff, but it's just yes.
Yeah. Off you go.
When somebody brings that in, and that the team are talented, and
would you have an agenda though? If on Harvey Nicks, would you go right? Just mentally, you'd go right. Last campaign was like little cats. Can't do anything like that again. Would you then go right? I'm now going to go completely different. You know what I mean? Was it just best idea? Did you wittingly have a little bit of a, don't want it to be too like last year? Do you know what I mean?
A little bit. I mean, remember they were like 2 sales a year anyway. Yeah. So there, I mean, again, a few,
because there was that Justin and Adam one where it was the calendar where you had to save up for, which is like at the time you just looked at just a beautiful piece of graphic design anyway. But it's a really clever idea. And Justin came on and told us the story about the account person who said, I'm going to have to eat beans on toast for a month now to get that. And they went, that's it.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then you go, wow. And then you see mannequins sort of cowering. They are very different, aren't they? But
I mean, the beans thing was more of a brand campaign rather than a sales campaign.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
But,
okay. I mean, we're going to move on. We're going to get to your favourite poster because we're doing pretty well. We're 1 minute, and then we can have a little break, and then. So tell us your favourite. And you must have seen more posters than most. What's your favourite?
Are you talking about my age?
No, your work.
Well, this John Smith's campaign. I mean, I could have chosen so many. Talked about Harold earlier, but I just remember, on my early days of catching the bus to my first agency, Ted Bates,
right,
seeing this poster.
Do you want to describe the poster for our listeners? For those who don't know it, just describe.
Well, they should know it.
I know, but we do have new people who are younger.
Oh,
those people should go back and listen to Tim Riley.
To podcasts.
They should go back and listen to Tim Riley.
I will describe it. It's as if one poster has been sort of half replaced by another in that changing of the guard, and it's used the wording of the first to match perfectly with second. So
make it a night she'll never forget with
John Smith. just watch her face light up when she finds out
The lads are coming round.
So
I mean, it's just genius.
it's very, very funny. It's very on.
But it was
on
like
voice.
when I saw it, I went, I want to work at that agency that did that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
Enjoy the exotic taste of
Yorkshire bitter. So when Tim Riley came on, he told us he'd actually seen it in a
Mad magazine.
Mad magazine.
Well, he ripped it off.
Yeah, and he
Fucking
ripped
cheap.
fucking bastard. But again, what we loved about it was Tim's honesty.
he had the Mad magazine with him when he came. He was like, "Oh, look, I want to show you this."
So
Well, he's a
funny.
brilliant writer.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's brilliant. Isn't it? But it's been sort of people have tried to mimic it over the years.
Financial Times.
Financial Times. There you go.
Hiscox.
Yeah, Hiscox. A lot of people don't, but this must be one of the very first.
It was the
ones
first.
that-
Yeah.
It was the first, and I'd never seen anything like it.
The sabotage your own ad thing. It's great, isn't it? It's
If you get it right, and the craft of that, it was so not just the look, but the lines. Obviously, brilliant, weren't
Yes.
they? They were like really funny. Right, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to obviously invite you back in also to do a VW special.
Right.
I don't know when that will be, but for now,
Change
with
my sweater.
the magic of editing.
we want to say thank you so much for coming and being so open and honest.
Oh, well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.